Hello. So we're making this video with Daniel today to show you how you do pull requests in the final project. You have been doing pull requests for a long time now to submit your homework, but now there's some details that are important that you pay attention to, and that's the part that we need to show. There's also other details that we're going to leave out that are not so specific to the open pull requests, and I might mention some of them just so that you have them in mind, but I'm not going to show how to do a few things. Whoop. Okay, so there's this Guide IT project on GitHub, which is one final project. For some people watching this video in the future, you will not know anything about this project, and it doesn't matter either. But the project.
Can you share the screen?
Yes. Thanks. Okay. So now it's sharing. But there's the issues. That's where things started. Issues are created that are basically tasks, and then students are assigned to those issues. That's it. So they must implement certain features, and so you have an issue to implement a certain feature. You do that, and in the end, you create a pull request, a bit like for your own. So that's the process I'm going to show here. So there's this test issue that is assigned to me. And in this, it's just that for the demos, it's very simple. I just need to change the end date for the project on the README to the 1st of June instead of May the 30th. I haven't cloned the repo yet, so I'll start there. So get the link. I'm going to open the terminal in my desktop, and I'm going to clone it there. You should do it wherever it makes sense to you, not necessarily in the desktop. I'm going to open this in VS Code. Open the folder. Desktop, Guide IT. And terminal. Status. Okay, so I've just cloned the repository. So by default, I'm on master. I'm on the branch master. I should be on the develop though. That's going to be the new master, as you've probably heard before. So let me do git checkout develop. Git status. Yeah, so I'm on the branch develop. Cool. This is where I should be before I create the branch that I'm going to use to implement my feature.
Can I just interrupt?
Of course.
Just so people know, no one will use master. Everybody will make their branches from develop.
Yeah. So we're there. Now we can create our branch. So git branch update readme. That's what I'm going to do. And now I'm moving to the branch, git checkout. Git status again. Double checking is always good. And the branch, all good. So where is my readme? It's here. And I'm just changing the file type to plain text because otherwise it's going to do some automatic indentations that I don't want it to do. That's a fairly technical issue that hopefully you will not have. Anyways, changing the end date to the 1st of June. Then git status. I made the change. Git add. Git commit. So update project end date on. And I'm done. I did my thing. I committed my changes. In the real project, you should probably be testing your code, make sure everything is working. You should also get any updates that there might be on develop in this branch So you'd be probably doing a git develop, a git pull, origin develop. I can do it, but I shouldn't get anything. Yeah, already up to date because no one is working at the same time as I am. It's also important to get the latest updates. And after you do it, you test if your code works again, because sometimes it might break. Changes from develop might break your code. So test it again. And yeah, now I'm ready to push my branch. Git push origin, update readme, and it's there. So I'm going to create my pull request.
Yeah, it's a really good hint that you give with the after updating from develop to test the code again. We have some issues sometimes.
Yeah, it's easy to forget.
Yeah.
I also do it at work sometimes. It's not a good thing to forget though. So the base branch that you want to do your pull requests to is develop. Forget that master exists now. And the branch to compare is the update readme. It's your branch. And yeah, so there's only one change. Great, that's what I wanted. So I'm ready to create it. And now notice that there's some text already here on the description. And it's important to follow this. It's basically a template and you should follow. So provide a short summary explaining what this PR is about. Update is the end date of the project on the readme. So this is super simple. It's basically the same as the commit message. But in reality, you'll probably have a pull request that has multiple commits, and the description should be a bit longer. Also, like explaining why you did the change, because it's easy to see what you did. People just read your code, read your commit messages, but the why is very often missing, and very important to be able to understand why you did what you did. So this is a place to explain this.
Yeah. Well, why did you did it that way, right? Because in programming
Exactly.
you can also do you can solve the same problem several ways. So it's good, and you can add if you have examples that you followed in the internet. You can add your biography here, whatever.
Yeah. So then you say also which issue it's fixing. It's not necessarily fixing, but addressing in general. Anyways, in here it says fixes, so that's good enough. I don't remember the issue number, so I'm just going to the issues again, and I'm going to see what's the number. It's number 1, easy peasy.
Number one,
Yeah.
amazing.
First issue ever in this. Why is my computer not working? Please work. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, and it's pretty cool because it shows you, it does autocomplete for you. So it is one auto test. Yeah, here you should say how to, whoever is going to review your pull request, how can that person test that your code is working? And it can be in many ways. I don't know, it depends. If you did a change on the front end, maybe the person should go and run the website and see if they see a certain element that you added. But it can also be that there's a function that you run and should give you some result. It really depends on your specific case. And in my case, you go
I
and
can
read the readme.
exactly. I can give you some more practical examples.
Yeah,
If
please.
it's a component on Storybook, you might want to say localhost 3006 or something like that, or run Storybook and put the command there. If it's a component that is implemented already in a page, you might say 3000. And if it's an endpoint, you can say use Postman. So be a little bit aware of what kind of feature you are implementing and how do you actually see the feature working. So it depends a little bit. And on this case, like Marta was saying, it's just to check the README file.
Yeah, also, I guess you tested your code yourself, so you can just say what you did, maybe for other people to do more or less the same. Take into account that they might need to do some stuff before, for things to work. Anyways, in this case, open the README and see that's the, what was that section? The end date on the project's calendar as changed to 1st of June. So in this case, it's quite simple. Now there's a checklist if you have done all these things. So I have performed a self-review on my code. I did. In mine, it's fairly simple, but yes, you should be looking at your code and see that it makes sense, that you don't have, I don't know, commented lines in there, that which you shouldn't have when you commit. So make sure that there's, for instance, no things, no comment codes lost in there, or functions that you are no longer using that implemented in the beginning, but now they don't make sense anymore and are not used. That kind of thing. See that there's no weird stuff there. I have commented my codes, particularly in hard to understand areas. So basically, when you're coding, and again, hard to understand areas that there are some thinking behind, you should explain why you implemented that way. Put some, like, what are you doing, and maybe even a little bit of the why. Don't make huge comments that are like 10 lines long, probably, but give some hints at least. And try to maybe keep it short to like 2 or 3 lines. Also, future you will appreciate one day if you get back to the code and you don't remember why did I do this way. Maybe if you read the comments, it will help. It should definitely help. I have made corresponding changes to the documentation. This is also important. Imagine that you change an endpoint, like you either change the name of the endpoint or you change the arguments that it take. Remember to change that also in the documentation. Otherwise, people will think the endpoint is named one thing and that doesn't exist anymore because you changed the name. So in the documentation should be consistent with the code. If you change the code and it implies a change in the documentation, remember to do that change. This PR is ready to be merged and not breaking any other functionality. So here it's really important that you have pulled from develop before you push. Because sometimes, I mean, everyone will be working on their pull requests, and while you're working on your feature, other person might have got their pull request merged that makes changes that break your code. And if you don't get those changes in your branch before you push, you will not know that it was working for you just fine, but then when you merge, it breaks. So remember to pull from the daily test changes from develop, test again, make sure it works, and then push. Yeah. Like this, there's no breaking.
This last point is actually one of the most important ones. But I would say if you're watching the video and you have questions about documentation, don't worry just now, because during the final project we will tell you if there is documentation to update. If it's an endpoint, probably it's going to be Swagger. If it's the database model, probably we're going to use something else. But just consider that you should do it and not how to do it, because that will come after. Or we'll tell you what it is.
Important point. In general, actually, if there's something that I'm saying and you don't understand very well, watch the video again in a week or 2, because maybe it will make more sense at that point.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just that things haven't been mentioned yet. Okay, so this part of the pull request description is done. For reviewers, someone is going to review it. So I'm not exactly sure that's going to work myself, but Daniel will probably tell you who are you going to actually put in here. But when you want to select reviewers in general, you come to this thingy and you start typing the name of the person. I don't know, let me just check something. So I'm going to just choose that. In your case, yeah, check with Daniel or whoever is the mentor in the final project who you should be choosing, if anyone at all. So yeah, and then there's also labels. You click here if you want to add a label. I don't know if it's relevant or not. I'm just telling you that you can.
Yeah, I think we will have front end and back end mainly for statistical purposes, and I will be looking at that. So
Yes.
you can put it if it's straightforward. If no, leave it because I will check the PR.
So, and I think that's it. It's ready to be created. So I'm going to create a pull request. And now that I created it, I'm not really happy with the title. So maybe I'm going to change the title. And that's very easy. I just click on edit. You can always edit your title. Let's say project and date on video. Actually, this is a pretty good title, so maybe I'm not going to change it after all. But I could, and that's just to show it. And then after you change it, you just click save, and that's it. And actually, when you click that edit, you can also change the branch you want to develop to merge into. So if you by accident selected master, like, imagine by accident you selected master, you can comment and click on develop. And now I think I made a big mess right now. So it will ask you, are you sure you want to change the base? Some commits from the old base branch may be removed from the timeline, and all review comments may become outdated. There's some things that might happen, but if you're sure you want to, then you just click change base. And my computer is not working very well. I'm clicking and nothing happens. Well, that's not good. We select the branch. Okay, now sorry for this. Now I need to go and change and choose the old. What? Okay. Let me make sure that it's fine. Okay, it's into develop from update 3. This is fine.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay, so I created my pull request, and Daniel should have got a notification on his email. But just in case, let's send him a private message on Slack, just saying, "Hey, it's here, it's ready. Whenever you want, you can look into it." So I'll just give you FYI. It's there, and now you cannot say that he hasn't been told it exists.
Yeah, in your case, you should just put it on the channel because everyone on class on your class will also have the goal of reviewing, because the final project is all about collaboration, and reviewing PRs is part of that collaborative work development, right? And now I should review it, right?
Yeah, so I'll stop sharing my screen and you'll show how you review a PR.
Can I share it now? Should be able?
I'm having a problem with buttons today.
Oh, okay.
Come on. So I cannot stop sharing.
No, but I think you have.
I have. I still, like, there's, I don't know what's going on, but.
Okay. So, can you see my screen?
I can't. My screen. Oh, Jesus Christ. No, because. Is my computer dying? Okay, let's do it this way. This was part 1 of the video. In the next part of the video, Daniel will show you how to do the review of the PR. And we'll just try to solve this problem with my computer being an idiot. Watch. And we're back. So now Daniel is going to show how to do the review of the pull request.
Yeah. So Marta has requested my review, and I got an email, and I also got when I opened the project on pull requests, I can also see a message here. You can also, yeah, that's funny. Yeah. So you have the pull request here. What I'm going to do, so I'm going to check what was changed. Okay, it's the date. Yeah, maybe I should actually check first what was the initial request, and it fixes number 1. So this is how you will review it when it's your turn to review. So you check, okay, this is a test. The purpose is to change the date. Okay, let's see how Marta did it. And actually here we can also link it. So it's easier for us to move from the issue to the PR. We're back in the PR, and I can see that you've done everything, and you have some information about how you did it, how you test it. I check what you've changed, and it seems good. So I'm gonna do my review. Oh, but actually, Marta was wrong. It's not gonna change. It's not gonna be on the first. It's gonna be on the second. So please consider that the project and date is actually the second. Okay, and I request a change.
Okay, so I guess that's back to me. So I think I need you to stop sharing your screen so I can share mine. And I probably also got an email about this, I hope. In this case, I just know that it happened. Ah! So, yeah, Daniel is telling me that the end date is actually on the 2nd of June, but I was pretty sure the issue said on the 1st of June. So, let me check. Yeah, it says 1st of June, not 2nd of June. So, yeah, maybe Daniel made some sort of mistake. I'm going to ask him, like, are you sure? So how do I write a reply? I come here and I am going to leave a comment. Are you sure the end date is on June 2nd? In the issue run it says June 1st. And I like emojis very much.
There's a little detail. You probably seen that on my screen as well, merge pull request.
Yeah.
And you won't see that on your screen because you will have to have the request approved before you can do the merge. But because me and Marta have different privileges on the Hacky Future GitHub repository, we can do what some of us say God mode. We can go into God mode and merge the pull request. But you probably will have to probably no, you will have to have an approval do that.
Yeah.
So just a quick note, if you think that your screen is different from this one.
Yeah, and even in real life, even if you see the button, you shouldn't click on it before you address any feedback. It's just good practice. So yeah, I'm just going to ask Daniel if he's sure about this. And now I'll go to my life and wait for his answer. He can share his screen while he answers if he wants.
Okay, and I'm back. And when I refresh, I go to the conversation here, and I can see that Marta, yeah, okay, it's the first one. Well, I'm not going to go into the issue because we all know that it's the first one, and it was a mistake that I asked her to change to the second. This is just to simulate. And I'm going to approve. My mistake. It seems rich. Not seems, because seems it almost seems like I'm saying that it's likely, and it shouldn't be likely, right? You have to be sure when reviewing. My mistake, the issue says the first, so the PR is correct.
I guess the issue could be wrong here. So like sometimes you create an issue thinking the problem is one, and sometimes as it goes on, you figure out that maybe it's not quite that, and the solution addresses the issue but doesn't do exactly what the issue said. But that's stuff that you agree on and you talk with whoever is reviewing over time.
Yes, feel free to ask questions.
Yeah.
Please use the channel. It's important to when you have a question to share it in the channel, because I might have the same question and then Marta answers one time instead of answering 5 times. So feel free to ask questions. That's fair enough. We're here to learn, and we're here to do the project and learn with it.
And just one thing, in general, try to have the discussions on GitHub when it's simple, but sometimes it goes super deep and you just have a Slack call and solve it over a Slack call. And that's it, of course. Through private messages. It's kind of nice to have it on the GitHub pull request, of course, but it's not always practical. So just keep that in mind. It's a trade-off.
Yeah, especially when it does a confusion, right? And then there's a lot of back and forth, right?
Exactly.
And you can also ask for help in the channel if someone is available to have a Slack call with you guys, for example. But it's important to use, I'm going to use the word channel, but it's not a Slack channel, right? It's important to use channels that are across the team. That means if you do a message on Slack channel, everybody will see. If you write a message on GitHub, everybody has access. So you're not hiding your question and being ashamed. You're sharing, and everyone can help you solve it. So that's important. And again, this is collaboration. You will all benefit from that.
And yeah, that's it, I think.
And if we don't have anything, I can. It's ready to. You can see it on my screen.
Oh,
It's
I was
ready
supposed to implement some changes. Actually, I think I was too good at solving that issue. So
I'll
in
stop.
real, yeah, I'll just print it maybe and show some stuff. So so in real life, if you had to implement something, you know what to do. We've done that for VMworks. You just go back. I mean, if Daniel was actually right, I changed this to the second. I use commit again and I use push. And before pushing, I use pull develop again to keep everything up to date. And only then would I push. Same thing as you do on your homework, except remember to pull develop, remember to test that everything still works, and then you push again. So just that detail. And I'm not sure who clicks this button, if it's you, Daniel, or me, once it's approved. How do you do this?
Well, it should be you. It should be the student. Well, and you're
I'm the
simulating
student
the
today.
student, right? It should be the student because it's his or hers PR, and maybe during the project we will merge some of them because we want it to be chop fast. But it's your work, so yeah.
Okay. So that's good. I'll find the merge. And it's done. And it's closed. And once you close the PR, remember also to delete the branch and close the issue. Otherwise, at some point, there's way too many branches that no one know what they anymore. And the same for issues. It's just to keep things tidy. So I'll click there, delete branch.
And as you can see, when Marta deletes the branch, Marta can still restore the branch. So for the people that are afraid that they're going to lose their work and the computer's not working very well, don't worry, because this is a tool that allows you to go back on your work. It's not just a repository; it's version control as well. So we can actually use it as a backup.
Yeah, totally.
So feel at ease at deleting the branch. It's important for us to list the branches and only see the branches that are currently being worked on, that are currently active, or else it's a big mess, and it's not useful.
And in terms of losing stuff, I mean, your changes have already now gone to the developer, so they're just on the developer. Otherwise, you can lose them. Yep. So I've deleted the branch there. If that button disappears, if you don't see it, another way to delete the branch is to go back to code and then go here into branches. And then you see this trash can. You can delete. In this case, I can only delete develop, which I don't want to do, so I'm not doing it. But that's another way to delete branches on Git. And then I'm going to close the issue. And yep, I can see that it's been linked to a pull request. Perfect. I could also write a comment here at rest in PR number 2, maybe. Yep. I could write this and close with comment, for instance. Or I could just comment and then click on close issue afterwards. Up to you. That's a little bit open-ended. It's already been mentioned there, so all you need to do, you really need to do, is close the issue, and that's it. So it's closed, and it's done. You did your PR, it got merged, you close the issue, you delete as a branch. That's it. Next. There's no next right now, so I'll stop sharing my screen. I think this was it. And if you have questions, you ask Daniel. Unless they're very Git specific, then you can ask me.
Yeah, thank you for listening, and thank you, Marta, for putting up aside the time to help out once again.
Thank you. Okay, bye.
Bye.